everybody gets low back pain at some point in their life. It's very seldom that you don't feel any low back pain. Let me just palpate here. So the starting point is we want to find this it's called the Trough line. And if you take the iliac crest, find out where the iliac crest goes and just kind of roll over it. And you can go straight across, and that will get you at L4, the spinous process of L4. Okay, and so we just want to find that. And if you go down, Chun, you go down a space, this will be L5. And if you come over a little bit, you'll find this muscle here. We can actually needle into the SI joint here around stomach 28. But let's just find L4. And the way I actually do, when I find this, I actually come across with my finger, and I actually try to find exactly where that space is. Rather than trying just to kind of eyeball it, I'll actually kind of keep my fingers here, and I'll slide across, and I'll try to find where that space is. And I know that's exactly L4, bottom L4. So when I needle, I'll keep my finger here, and I'll come out to the UB channel, and then I'll needle like so. Sometimes I used to find, if I didn't do that, I just eyeball it and I needle where I think the channel is here, and then I turn and I go to a different angle, and I've got one side that's perfectly in the UB channel. I've got another one that looks like it's in the Watteau planes, right? So it's a good idea to kind of mark it, and then I just bring it over, and then I needle into UB25. Okay, it's a good way to do it. Okay. So I'm mostly feeling. So I want to feel. First, I would ask them if they feel pain in any particular area. Women tend to have more pain lower over their sacrum. They have more adipose tissue here, and it's usually deconditioned. The muscles are usually pretty weak here, and they tend to have a lot more issues very low in their back. Men tend to have a little bit higher, usually UB 23 to UB 25. It's going to be somewhere in here. So think about that. When you needle women versus men, sometimes you're going to find, and if they have a lot of adipose tissue, you're going to use a thicker needle. You got to use, in many cases, you got to use at least a 2-inch needle, even over the sacrum. There's just so much adipose tissue there. Okay, and just kind of feel, go down to the longissimus muscles and just kind of feel if there's any tension spots, or if it elicits a jump sign. A jump sign is when there's a trigger point and they jump a bit. Yeah, then you know there's muscle involvement. Even when there's disc issues, there's almost always muscle involvement, because the muscle tends to protect and contract around the tissue. So this is where the rubber meets the road, really. Now you can needle these points all day, and if you don't stimulate it right, you're going to get minimal results. It's one thing I learned. I did these points for thousands of patients, but my stim wasn't correctly. I wasn't grabbing the chi, and I wasn't using electrical stim correctly.